Well, welcome. We have taken in obviously a Jackson guitar on a trade with a young man who now owns a wonderful mandolin. He acquired this guitar and just does not enjoy playing electric guitar. So he brought that guitar in and traded it with us. And we will do the reveal on this beautiful Jackson Randy Rhoads style Flying V. There it is. It came in the case. The bar was with it. All the knobs are there. And the one thing missing is the headstock or the truss rod cover. We'll build one for that likely. And gonna set this thing up. And as you can see, it's rusty. A lot of rust and just grit and grime all over this instrument. This will be for sale soon. And here it is under the lights. There you go. Again, we took it on a trade. It needs some setup work. New strings, of course. Has all the locking nut pins and all that. And we'll string it up differently, clean it up, and make it look pretty so that whoever owns it will be proud of this. And it has the typical tip broken V end on this. That's common on almost every single one of these that I've ever seen. So it's time to start disassembling, cleaning up, and getting this thing set up to go home with some new guitar player or old guitar player. Ha. All right, so I have removed the strings off of this and done a little bit of just knocking the dust off of this thing. And you can see how terribly dirty this is. I have removed the Floyd Rose, licensed Floyd Rose Jackson vibrato system. And you can see all the guck that's gotten in here. Probably beer, snot, and sweat. Yeah, I'm guessing. This stuff, white stuff, will come off of there, so that'll all look nice. But the Floyd Rose is now sitting in my, what is it called? Gemoro. Let's take a look at it. We'll disassemble that and clean it all up, lube it up, and this thing will be in tip-top shape for the new owner of the instrument. So a little bit of cleanup to do. Here we go. Well, here we are with the Jackson Flying V, and here's the date stamp. 5/15 it looks like, maybe. I don't know what that number is right there. RR-3, 5-1, blah, 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 2006. So, I'm guessing this guitar was probably hit the shelves of the Guitar Center, probably, in 2006. Probably around Christmas. That's my guess. Yeah. I'm putting a shim in the neck. It needs a shim for me to be able to set this thing up correctly. This saddle adjustment screw is bottomed out, so while I have string tension off of the guitar, I'm going to go ahead and raise that up a little bit. And then you should never turn these screws with tension on the strings. So with no string tension on, I'm going to raise those up. I'm going to hopefully get it right. I'll be lucky, but if I do, it'll be perfect. So neck shim, raise the saddles, and then adjust from there. Here we go. Well, the joyous things we find inside guitars. You can see there's just some guck. This is some parts of the debris that came off of there when I just hit it with my rag briefly, but these are the type of steps that I like to take to remove this sort of stuff from a guitar. And while it's hidden underneath the knob, for the most part, you know, there's still some visible stuff. If you're going to sell a guitar, I recommend that you go through and clean it really well. It doesn't take much time, and you'll get more money for it in the end. So even down to the knobs, you know, this thing's got a bunch of guck. Kind of, you know, go ahead and clean that stuff out of there. I'm just using a razor blade so that I can get down into those spots, knock that stuff loose, get it out of there so it looks a whole lot better to whoever might own this. And it doesn't take much time, and you don't need any special tools really. How hard was that? So your output jack is loose, and you go to spin it on like this. You're just gonna spin that, toss the wires up, and probably break a wire in there, ruining your output jack connection. So when you tighten one of these up, don't be afraid to remove the jack, hold it in your hand, and tighten the nut with a wrench like this. Boom. That problem is solved. It has a lock washer on it. Put your screws back in, call it a day, and you've not ruined your output jack. Okay, there's another bit of advice. And furthermore, you'll notice I have a couple of clamps placed on this instrument. That's so that it won't tip over while I'm working on it. It's a good bit of advice if you're working on a Stratocaster, or this happens to be a Flying V, whatever. You can use one of these clamps, place it on the body of the guitar, and it'll keep the guitar from tipping over. At least it'll do a good job without you having to hold on to it when you need both hands. Be careful of the arms on these. They will definitely scratch the surface up, so be real careful about that. There you go. The Jackson, the perfect folk metal guitar. Oh yeah. It's ready to sell. What do you think?